I saw Brett Cooper uploaded. She uploaded. She's already at 1 million subscribers, which is crazy. This is insane, dude. This is insane. When I launched my channel, I grinded my dick on the pole for a very long time to get to where I am at now. I have put in the work, put in the grind, and I've gotten here. Now, I'm not Giga Chad super relevant yet, but I put in the time streaming. I make my video game reviews, and I'm gonna keep pumping out that juice just like I do in the bathroom whenever I'm alone, you know. But let's talk about right-wing cancel culture. Now, this is something I have actually I don't know if I've talked about it too much, but I hate cancel culture. I hate it on the left. I hate it on the right. I just hate cancel culture. I hate when one side will be the champions of free speech, and then the next week, the other side will be the champions of free speech. And I'm over here like, why can't we just say whatever we want? Because that would be cool. I don't care how politically expedient the Constitution is for you at the moment. You should just be like, you're a part of our government. You should care about the Constitution. I have so many problems when it comes to both the left and right, and I'm excited to see this right-wing creator kind of blast the right wing. They need it. They need it. I mean, if you can't keep your own in check, then you're just a sheep following the rules. Now, we'll see how far she goes in on them. I don't know. I mean, this is her first video since leaving the Daily Wire, so I'm a little excited.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Brett Cooper Show. I am so happy that you guys found me over here on this new channel. I am so excited to start this new chapter with you.
Found her, dude. They came in hordes, bro. They came in hordes, bro. They were waiting to come on her. I mean, on her channel. I mean, watch her channel.
You guys, we have been hard at work behind the scenes, literally boots on the ground, me and my 80-year-old neighborhood grandpa putting shiplap up on the ceilings to cover up my 90s popcorn ceilings that I thought you guys would not find aesthetically pleasing on a set. We're literally in a room at my house. We put this all together. Anyway, I am so excited to bring this new show to you and show you guys what we have been working on. So my goal with this new show is to foster understanding, to go deeper and extract substance in the stories and issues that matter most to us, the issues that impact us on a daily personal basis. And I have always said this, but I want to reiterate it, that I do not take for granted the fact that you guys take hours out of your busy lives to watch my videos, and I want to make sure that every single second of that time matters. I want to make sure that every single video I put out leaves you feeling more confident or empowered or smarter or more inquisitive about the world. And so
when you watch my videos, I want you to feel dumber. And I want you to feel like you have a bit of an erection and you're confused on to why. It was like, why did he talk about a menstruating tsunami? Why does that turn me on? I've never thought old women were hot that way before. And it's like, dude, because I understand you. And you're like, I never wanted a teethy blowjob. Nobody does, but sometimes you get caught in the braces. That's what I'm here for. Let her build up your ego and your ability to make arguments. Come to me when you want to come.
So because of that, we are going to be doing less frequent episodes. We're not going to be chasing the news cycle as much. I want to make sure that every single episode is intentional. This first season, in my eyes, is all about understanding where we've come from, where we're heading, and trying to fix the obvious disconnect between the generations, between values, and so much more. So I hope you are ready for even more hard truths, deeper dives than we have ever gone before.
I am ready to get more hard. I mean, hear more hard truths. I am, dude. I am. I'm ready. I'm ready for you, dude. Let's go after the right wing together.
For insightful interviews and, of course, lots of laughter and levity, because it would not be a Brett Cooper production if we were not having fun through it all. But for this first episode of season 1 of the Brett Cooper Show, I thought that we could just keep it simple and keep it between us. And I realized I just said keep it simple, but this episode kind of is not simple at all. It actually might get me into trouble, but we do need to talk about how the right...
Fuck it. Don't worry about getting in trouble. Just do your fucking grind, dude. Get out there and just shove your clam sandwich down everybody's throat and say, fuck it, I'm here, dude. And now the Daily Wire can't tell you what to do. That's kind of what I'm getting from this video so far, and I know that she's worried about, she's mentioning the controversy. Good, dude. You should start a little buzz. Like, this is what Shoe on Head does. This is what Shoe on Head's been great for years, is she's left-wing, but she calls out things that the left that's cringe. So somebody needs to do that on the right. I mean, you have so many people just, like, buddying up, just in a long line of, like, gay sex and, like, some straight sex, depending on where the line of women to man ratio is, and they're just kind of like gooning each other, trying to get the same talking points out. It's nice to see somebody like step up and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to change. So I'm hoping this is what she does.
Runs the risk of literally losing everything that we've worked for if we continue down a path of mimicking the left's toxicity. AKA, we need to talk about right-wing cancel culture. But before we do, and you guys know the drill, make sure that you are subscribed to this new YouTube channel, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all new episodes of The Brett Cooper Show. And if you guys want even more content and ad-free episodes, click the link in the description below to check out my new subscriber-only platform. There'll be lots of information below. Would love for you guys to check it out. But we have far more pressing matters to attend to. All right, so I've been thinking...
Dude, I have to say she seems way more comfortable in this situation and way more happier than she did in any of her other videos. Like, she seemed like she was having a bit of fun, but look at like the shine in her fucking eyes, dude. Look how much happier she is. This is good. This is good. This is beating off the fucking corporate douchebags. You're no longer beating off the corporate douchebags. You're hitting them away. You're no longer jerking them off, is what I'm saying. No more hand jobs. Less hand jobs. More doing your own type of hand jobs on yourself.
About this topic since New Year's Eve, and I've known that I want to cover this on my first episode because it just keeps coming up. And it specifically came up on New Year's Eve after the actress and comedian Whitney Cummings did a set on CNN's New Year's Eve show. And if you missed it, just take a look.
2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a body upright. Kamala was forced on us so hard you'd think she was patented by Pfizer or Moderna, whichever one's, oh God. Andy just gave me a very scary look.
No!
I thought being a mom would mean that less people would want to come see me. I'm now playing, you know, like 3,000 seat theater,
awesome.
which is about the viewership of CNN these days.
I mean, it's so great. Like, this entire set, she is basically shocked they have not cut her off. You can tell that she's uncomfortable. She's like very tentative. She's taking a risk, making all of these jokes that are incredibly honest. They're incredibly genuine and insightful about the state of our world and the state of politics. And people loved it. Like, she went on for like 5 minutes and everybody was, again, literally in shock that she was not cut off. And of course, she immediately went viral on X. Some people had never heard of her before. They were so excited to find, you know, another brave and honest comedian who was willing to push boundaries and make these kinds of very, you know, relevant jokes. But what makes the story interesting is that people turned on her as quickly as they fell for her because they realized that 5 years ago when COVID was raging, she used to be very pro-vaccine and that she even had vaccine mandates for some of her live shows during that 2020-2021 period. And you have some tweets here. You can see her talking about the vaccine, saying that, God, we need a vaccine. Can we make a vaccine now? Go, we need a vaccine. Chop, chop on that vaccine. Like, she was tweeting about this constantly. And immediately, people on X started calling her out. They were calling her a grifter and a fraud, saying that she was an opportunist, that she was taking advantage of this time.
Dude, this is such a problem too, that a comedian will come out and say shit and then they pull out their backstory. It's like if I were to like say something and then it's like, oh, we need to fucking bury him. I hate this shit. I always hated this shit. Like, I do, like, I understand if somebody's like, their whole point is just out there being a fucking vicious person. Like, take somebody like Mark Hamill that is constantly every day simping for politics, but then somebody comes out there, makes a few jokes, and then, oh, okay, we're gonna take up their tweets from 10 years ago or fucking 3 years ago or something to really, we're gonna really show them, we're gonna cancel them. It's fucking cringe, bro. Go pound sand up your dick hole, dude. Anybody who's doing this, it's pathetic.
Time and culture when things were shifting to the right to try to make a name for herself, they literally lost their damn minds. And again, this happened in a matter of hours. I watched her videos go viral. I was like, man, this girl is so cool. I've seen her on TV. And then suddenly everybody hated her. And it makes no sense to me. Like, they were angry that she had not issued a formal apology before getting up and doing a comedy set. Like, they were angry that her track record wasn't perfect. Like, guys, nobody in the world has a perfect track record. And more than anything, I think that we should focus on their actions. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
how I evaluate everything in my life, whether it is a politician or my meat delivery service, which is why I trust Good Ranchers.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about my meat delivery service? It's below average, way below average, super small. But I have a really good aim, and I bust really fast. So sometimes when I go into the room, I don't even have to deliver the meat. I just shoot from across the room and then impregnate a bitch. That's how I do it, dude. It's a super really good meat packing industry. I don't even have to pack. I don't even have to pack a punch, bro. I am playing COD zombies at such a high level, I don't even have to pack a punch. I just blast it right in.
Guys, did you know that 85% of grass-fed meat in our stores is actually not from the US? That's because the country of origin law was actually repealed in 2015. So now meat can be packaged here in the US, even get a product of the USA label slapped on top, but it's not actually born, raised, or harvested in the States. But with Good Ranchers, when they say that their meat is 100% American made, they actually mean it. You can trust that their meat is actually born, raised,
I've actually thought, okay, here's the thing. I've heard the Good Ranchers thing on other things, and I've thought about doing it. And then I just don't. Because I when I want a steak, I just go to the grocery store. I go to Publix, and I'm like, hey, give me a good slab of meat down my throat, big boy. Just slap it right in there. Give me some good meat in my mouth. Give me some good meat in my mouth. I want some good meat in my mouth. And then they do, dude. And then I go home and I eat my happy meat and I go on with my life, dude. There is a type of meat that I have to that I'm gonna have to special order. Not the type of meat you're thinking of. Just like, oh, he's King Jiffy Coat's hiring male prostitutes. Go fuck yourself. Female prostitutes. Go fuck yourself. No, there's like this thing called Basque chorizo. It's different than Mexican chorizo, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. I grew up in a very heavily populated Basque area, and just like I thought that everyone's barbecue in the world had Basque chorizo at it. It's like a bratwurst but better. And I was like, dude, when I moved out of my hometown, I was like, the fickety fuck is going on? Why isn't Basque chorizo everywhere? Why hasn't the world caught on to Basque chorizo? It's garbage. You guys need to get on your fucking grind. Everywhere needs Basque chorizo. If I was president of the United States, everyone would have Basque chorizo. It'd be the best. Nobody would be mad. We would have endless amounts of good meat tubes to go down your throat, tasty meat drip sauce. But I'm gonna skip her ad.
And support a company that actually follows through on their word. And I understand that people are upset because being angry about COVID and everything that happened during that fever dream of a couple of years, it's understandable. Awful things happened. I mean, the lockdowns, the vaccines, the being separated from our families, kids being kept out of school, it was a travesty. But we have moved on from that. And also we need to be real because think about who we just elected. Think about who we spent the last couple of years propping up and encouraging and fighting for. Donald Trump, the man who first ushered in lockdowns, the man who encouraged us all to get the vaccine and is still saying how amazing it is. So we can support him and elect him and stand behind him 100% knowing that he isn't perfect, he doesn't have a perfect track record, but a comedian that has changed her mind and is now bravely going on CNN to tell some mildly based jokes. That's not appropriate because she didn't apologize.
Dude, the fact that Whitney Cummings is on Kill Tony all the time, there's a difference between... This is what people don't understand. You are not supposed to agree with everybody on everything. You're not supposed to walk up to people and be like, oh, is your name Jeff? Yeah, my name's Jeff too. Jeff. Oh, you like having sex? I like having sex. Oh, what are your views on abortion? And it's like, ah! And then you have different views, and it's like, oh, scary world. We can't be friends anymore. We have to be enemies till the end of time. And it's like, bro, dude, not everybody's supposed to agree with you on everything. That's fucking retarded. If you think everyone's supposed to have the exact same line of sight that you do, to have this mental issue that you think everybody has to agree with you on every single policy is just so dumb. It's so dumb. I see it all the time from creators where they're like, they use it as an insult. Somebody else voted for somebody else, and I think it's so cringe, dude. You should look at everyone who's going to potentially watch your audience, that they might have a different opinion with you, and that's okay. People have differences of opinion. People vote different ways. That doesn't make them any better or less of a person. You might think that, like, oh, I don't like their views on this policy. Whatever, dude. Grow the fuck up. I hate it. I hate this weird little toxicity bubble we built in these little areas where everybody has to be standing in a circle jerk. I like having different perspectives where I can actually have a conversation about it.
Makes no sense. Like so many conservatives that we follow, that we all love, were misled or wrong about COVID. My mother, my tinfoil hat, Alex Jones watching mother who's literally building a bunker. I remember getting grounded in 2020 because I went to the beach with my friends in Los Angeles and she was like, you're going to kill me. You are going to kill me. You need to go out into the garage. I don't want to see you. Like literally was grounded because she thought that this was so serious. And it's okay that people were wrong and that things changed because we genuinely, most people, had no idea what was going on and what was actually true, what was real. So that is one point that I want to make. But most importantly, isn't the goal to change people's minds and bring them over to the other side and show them the light. Like, that is what my goal is. But now people are seemingly upset when that happens.
Dude, this shit happens all the time, especially with gaming. It's like, instead of being like, oh, dude, look how much cool shit I bought on my Xbox or whatever. Like, you're like, oh, dude, I just played this on Game Pass. Instead of people like, oh, cool, is it a good game? It's like, fuck you, dude, buy a PlayStation. Or you're like, oh, dude, PS Plus just had this. It was already on Game Pass. What the fuck are you talking about? It's so annoying, dude. These toxic gatekeepers that don't understand, like, oh, dude, you can have certain things on one side that you like and certain things on the other side you like, and then find kind of an appeal to both. And finding that middle ground, it's like, I'd say, oh, dude, I really like freedom of speech, so you're right wing. What? Oh, no. The right doesn't believe in freedom of speech. And here's some examples. I'm like, okay, I don't agree with, I don't like those people then. I don't like that they did that. All right, well, then you're not right wing anymore. I'm like, well, I mean, was I ever? I mean, you try to put people in these boxes and then you gatekeep these boxes. And it's fucking cringe, dude. I would rather go outside naked and yell, I'm a salamander, than have to fit into your fucking boxes.
Because these individuals who have come over weren't right all along. Like, we spent 10 years fighting tooth and nail, proving people wrong, fighting back against cancellations, dispelling allegations about us, about our political party, about things going on in the world, exposing corruption and lies day after day after day, trying to convince people. I thought that that was the goal. I actually look at Whitney Cummings as a huge win, like a bold win, a refreshing acknowledgement of how far we've come, how many people have bravely, dipped their toe onto the other side, who have admitted that they were wrong and that they've now seen the light. That is objectively a very good thing. And I commend her, and we should all commend her, for having the bravery to admit when she was wrong and take a step to the other side. And again, a lot of people think that this is a grift. A lot of people think that it's not real, that she hasn't actually changed her mind. I completely disagree. Like, you can literally go back over the last couple of years and you can see where and how her mind started to change. One of my good friends, Chris Williamson, he has a podcast, Modern Wisdom. She has been on his show twice in the last couple of years. And in those episodes, she goes in depth about how being a mother changed her. She became a mother to a son, which made her rethink culture and society, specifically thinking about gender roles and masculinity, completely realizing that she has been lied to. And that was kind of a snowball effect into her changing her mind about everything else. She also did a podcast appearance more recently where she actually hit this political transformation head on. Just take a listen.
We are in a time where if you are on the left and you don't criticize your party, how much do you even care about your party? I don't think the left is as liberal as it used to. It's like the left became the party of censorship and my body, my choice, but you have to take this vaccine, and my body, my choice, pro-choice party, but you don't have a choice in your candidate.
So again, you are seeing her.
Yeah, dude. See, this is my problem with, like, the left has no... This is something that I've noticed for a long time, and I kind of argued with some people in chat when I did the Destiny video. When I dropped my Destiny video, I reacted to the whole thing, and I basically said that Destiny, like, deserves to be called out for this. And then people, like, criticized me just for calling Destiny far left, bro. And they're like, well, he's more centrist. I was like, dude, 5 years ago, he would have been insanely far left, but the left keeps, like, going further and further way the fuck out there. So if you were centrist but 5 years ago, all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck, dude? Why am I being called far right? I had this thing where I used to disagree with conservatives about censorship. I used to disagree with them about, like, gay marriage and stuff. But now it's like you got all this other fucking wackadoodle shit that the left's doing that now I'm fucking in the right wing fully. And I used to be, like, libertarian, fucking middle, centrist. I was like, leave my guns and my free speech alone. I don't fucking care about any of you. And now that makes me far right, and that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you guys have gotten so fucking out there that and that's why Donald Trump won by the margins he won. It's not that people are turning conservative all of a sudden. It's that the left has gone so fucking far out there, and a lot of people don't realize this, and a lot of people are angry about why are people switching? It doesn't make sense. You got to look at the rhetoric and the identity politics that's going on in this, to where it's like, well, if I'm not a certain shade, or I'm not a certain sexual orientation, you guys hate me for some reason. It doesn't make sense. You want me to, like, be a little pussy and just agree with everything you have to say, and that's not going to happen. And when the right starts doing that too, and they do, I disagree with it adamantly then. You should not expect everybody to agree with you on every single policy. There should be a discourse.
Mind change. You are seeing the issues that forced her to rethink everything about her political stance and about her political parties. And I'm seeing all of these comments. I'm seeing people who are posting clips from this podcast and they're saying, Whitney, it's 4 years too late. It doesn't matter. You're not actually brave. I don't care when it happened. Like, truly, I don't. That's BS to me. I'm just happy that she's thinking critically about the situation and that she has gotten to a point where she feels brave enough to speak about it. Like, again, that is a net good, in my opinion. And so the point I'm making is that, yes, people can change. That is a good, normal, human thing that happens to all of us. And when you change, that means that you then come with a past. You come with choices that you've made and things that you believe that you possibly regret, that you would not believe or do now. That's fine. Like, genuinely, that is okay. That is actually very normal for every single human being. So why are we ripping somebody apart because they were 4 years too late?
Well, and you see, this stuff is on a pendulum right now, because the pendulum is starting to swing more right? So that's going to be the general consensus. You're going to have a lot more people that that didn't have right-wing views that are now going toward more right-wing views because for so long, because of like tech censorship and stuff, you had such a hard swing to the left that now that it's moving back, you're having a lot of people that were more centrist before that feel like their party left them, and now they're moving toward the right. And when the right gets more powerful, and if we start seeing like a hard right-wing push, there will be a time where we're going to see a lot more shit like this. You're going to have some celebrities coming over because they feel like they're scared of cancel culture on the left for so long that now they're going to move over to the right because they're like, wow, dude, these guys aren't going to fucking crucify me every second. And now you have the right crucifying because now it's looking like the pendulum's going to swing back the other way. And all you're going to do is stop that momentum swing, which we need that. As a country, we need both the left and the right to keep those balances in check. Now, it sucks that we're only in a two-party system and there isn't in-betweens and stuff, but as it sits right now, we need that counterbalance to bounce between the two to keep us in check and keep us along the right direction. One party doing one thing will lead to chaos every single time, and I full-heartedly believe that.
Like, again, wasn't the goal to get people to this point. And so, in my opinion, the correct and the good thing to do is to welcome people like Whitney Cummings and understand where they're coming from and have empathy for the fact that, yeah, maybe it took them longer than some other people, but they finally got here. And that doesn't mean that you have to trust them implicitly and say, oh my God, here's your MAGA hat. Here you go. I'm going to follow you. And you're actually going to be our shining guide of a light for conservatism. No, like, that is ridiculous. You can
and that's what's happened too. That's what's happened with people like Rob Schneider and Roxanne. A lot of these people that before were just kind of maybe more centrist or a little conservative. Well, then all of a sudden, they find out they get canceled or something over saying having a hot take where the regular consensus online didn't believe with them, and then they get this cancel culture just fucking wave of bullshit at them, and then they shift way over to the right wing, and because they found a place that they feel safe. So now they're in this safe little zone that they're like, okay, well, I'm this zone now. This is my fucking lane. I'm staying in this lane, and it changes them completely in the wrong direction. I think once they start becoming just this fucking echo chamber of a party instead of what they originally were, just because they're scared of the other party and their vitriol, is so bad. That's not a place you want to be, and that's something the internet has created. And it sucks too, because I think Rob Schneider's really funny, but now that he's kind of on that god right-wing kick, it's like he lost all of his edge, bro, and he's kind of just insufferable. And it sucks too. Like I said, I really like Rob Schneider, and I think that he's still funny at his core, but now he's like doing tours with Charlie Kirk and shit, and he just doesn't feel like Rob Schneider anymore because he's gone to this weird he went full MAGA hat doing all that shit, and kind of sucks.
Tread lightly and be cautious, but you also don't have to be nasty. You also don't have to be a troll online because they aren't perfect. Because I guarantee the people that are commenting these things about her are not perfect either. And more than anything, I think that we should be focusing on people.
Obviously, they're not perfect, because if you're digging up everything somebody tweeted in like 3 years ago, you're a fucking clown. You're a clown. I'm sorry, dude. If you're going through finding every single little thing about somebody that they tweeted like years ago, you're fucking awful. Sorry, dude. I'm being straight up. If you're willing to go back 10 years to find dirt on somebody, you're a piece of shit. Like, it's internet stuff. This is all internet world. And you're just trying to destroy somebody in their career and their standing because you're mad about one tweet 10 years ago. You're a fucking loser. You're a clown. You have no fucking life. You probably don't get any pussy. You don't get any dick. You're a fucking loser. And the thing I said about Rob Schneider, it happens on the left too. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just fucking hating on right-wing guys here. It, like, you look at Mark Hamill and Mark Ruffalo, dude, the Marks, dude, and George Takei, and these people that constantly shill 24/7, and it feels like they're a walking advertisement for the left-wing party. I have trouble enjoying them, because it's like, I'll watch them in a movie, I'll be like, wow, they're really good in that movie, and then my phone will beep, and it'll be like, kill all conservatives or some shit, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Or if you voted for Trump, you're actually Hitler, and it's like, dude, come on, bro. Come on, dude. Like, why do you suck so bad as a person? Why can't you just be a dude? Why do you need to fucking be in this weird line? You know, like, you're just fucking trumping for the cause, no matter what. It's lame and cringe, bro.
Actions, which brings me to yet another example as I've been thinking about all this cancel culture stuff, which is Bud Light. And I can't believe that I'm touching this, because I know that this is still such a hostile issue on right-wing social media, but I think we need to talk about it. We all remember their infamous ad with Dylan Mulvaney. I did so many videos about that. They gave Dylan a beer can with Dylan's face on it. It was a whole thing. We had their female millennial girl boss marketing exec saying that the Bud Light consumer base was fratty and out of touch, which really just meant that Bud Light was out of touch with who their
Dude,
audience.
it's so fucking funny how they literally got, they got like a bunch of fucking people. They basically just started sending checks to creators, like, people. They were like, dude, we need to get the frattiest people ever, dude. Shane Gillis, fucking get Shane Gillis here now, dude. We need fucking Shane Gillis. We need to turn our image back into the frat bros. We need the frat bros back. Bring back Shane Gillis. It was such a hard turn, and, you know, to be honest, they're working their ass off to get their fan base back, because it was such a bad idea as a company. I don't know why as a company you would choose that. And this same type of stuff bothers me when I see it in the gaming industry. When you see game industry take these hard turns, all of a sudden they're like, oh, this game looks sick, I'm so excited. And then one of the creators is like, yeah, by the way, fuck conservatives and all of them. If you have even slightly right-wing values, I don't want you playing my game. Don't play my game. It's like, fine, dude, I won't. Whatever, dude. Like, and it sucks too, because, like, you have a game that I really want to play is Avowed, right? Avowed looks really cool. I want to play that game. It's same with South of Midnight, but you have, like, some of their creators coming out here and just, like, trashing people of certain views. And it's like, dude, you do realize half of the country, half of your buying base is of this thought process. So by alienating them, all you're doing is hurting your own team. And that's what Bud Light did, is they hurt their own team by trying to play politics in the industry. And now they're trying to fix that. They are trying to fix that. And I do appreciate when a company's like, yeah, we fucked up. And it's like, yeah, I know they're doing it just to make their money back, but it's like, now they have an understanding of who buys their shit. You think it's your fucking bougie left-wing fucking people buying Bud Light? Fuck no, dude. It's your fucking frat bros. It's your fucking, it's your crabbers, your random jabronis that fucking just want a Bud Light, bro. I want a Bud Light. You know, it's not gonna be your fucking, that Stella Alros and shit is gonna be at your left-wing parties. Come on now.
But Bud Light has spent the last 2 years trying to make things right. They have literally been repenting for 2 years. Like, in my personal opinion, Bud Light has done more to get back on track and actually listen to their consumer base than, say, the companies that Robbie Starbuck has been going after. The companies that get a ominous message on LinkedIn from Robbie saying, we know what you're doing behind the scenes, we're going to expose you. They get freaked out. They put out an apology and a very well-curated PR statement rolling back everything they've been doing over the past.
Does anybody know who Robert Starbuck is? Does anybody know who that is? I'm honestly genuinely curious. Let me know in chat or the comments or whatever. Just let me know who the fuck that guy is. I have no idea who this guy is. It's a lore that I do not know.
Couple of years, getting rid of the BLM initiatives, all of that BS. And while those things are obviously still net positives and they're good for society, those are actions that are being done out of fear and convenience. Where Bud Light is literally putting in the work, whether you like it or not. Like, over the past couple of years, the ad agency that was involved in that Dylan Mulvaney beer can, they fired 13 people immediately after. Bud Light put 2 marketing execs who were involved in that on leave and ended up firing them. They gave an apology, albeit very squishy, didn't actually hit the issue head on, but they did make an apology. But more importantly, they drastically changed their marketing tactics. Like, they actually got back to who Bud Light's...
And by the way, I do think it was kind of cringe that that so many people, like, went after it. But I also think that the person that Dylan Mulvaney has been kind of toxic toward, Dylan Mulvaney is, like, a toxic fucking person to begin with. And this whole thing was just, like, a really bad advertiser decision. As a company looking at your buyer base, and, let's say this, the person who makes fucking makes MAGA hats, right? The person who makes MAGA hats, their buyer base is going to be highly conservative type people, right? And then they put fucking somebody on front of it. They have Mark Hamill as the spokesperson of MAGA hats and just come out there and just, these are the MAGA hats, and you're like, dude, but it's fucking, that guy hates us. Why would I buy anything when I know these guys hate us? Why would I buy that from you? That makes no sense. Like, it's weird when you cancel something, right? Like, because it's just like random tweet and one fucking interaction or something. But like, if you're a company, and I hold people and companies on different perspectives, right? It's like a company has to sell stuff. That's their whole thing. They are a company, they sell stuff. And if their buyer base is majority this one way, it makes sense that their ads are gonna be this way. And honestly, if you run an ad for a MAGA hat that's like, yeah, dude, Trump's the best, fucking fuck liberals or something, that makes sense. The left might get mad about it, but this company sells MAGA hats. They're talking to their audience, and so getting mad at them does nothing. But to go on the complete opposite of what your buyer base would want, that is one of the dumbest decisions financially you could ever make. And that same thing is happening with, like I said, with gaming, dude. It's like you have half of your gaming base thinking this way, and you're like, oh, dude, I'm gonna just say fuck them, and then nobody wants to buy your shit. That's how cancel culture works. It's not about just dragging somebody's name through the mud. It's about not buying the products. Because when you show that you don't want to buy this shit, it says something to the company, and the company will look at it and be like, we're here to make money, dude. Like, you came out here and said, fuck you, and we're here to make money. We're here to, like, actually do shit. And you're ruining our bottom line. We need that. We need to make a change right now. And it looks like you were the one who signed off on this, so you're gone. And I think a lot of people are out there like, oh, we need to support the developers. We don't want these people to lose their jobs or whatever. And it's like, yeah, dude, I get that. But if you're going to be out here and you're going to talk shit about your buyer base, you deserve to lose all the money. And she's talking about more like conservatives and cancel cultures, and like the conservatives still doing cancel culture against certain things. We're talking about Bud Light right now. And it's just kind of like the annoying shit that the right has gotten mad at the left for doing for so long, the right's now doing.
Consumers are and what Bud Light stands for. Like, they made Shane Gillis the face of their company, which was a dream come true for him because he loves Bud Light. They tried to make manly advertisements again, like every single one of their ads at this point, I think, has men in flannels drinking beer and watching football. They did an exclusive partnership with Dana White and the UFC, which, oh my God, I'm sure you guys remember this, which royally pissed people off. I mean, conservatives thought that it was such a betrayal on Dana White's part to help Bud Light rebrand their image after this scandal. But Dana White, interestingly, had a completely different take. He was on a podcast talking about this, and he said, we had multiple bidders on the table. They were one of them. History has shown me, with relationships that I've had with other beer companies, I don't go crazy over the whole Patriot thing, but I consider myself a proud American. I'm happy to be an American. I love this country, and you are way more aligned with Anheuser-Busch than you are with other beer companies. I guarantee it. And then he went even further on Bussin' with the Boys, and he said this.
So if I have made the decision...
Well, here's the thing, dude. You have to, like, here's the thing. You should be able to critique your own team. You have to critique. If you don't critique the people you care, like the team, like the side you care about, you're just as bad as the side that you say you're bad, or that's bad, right? And that's something that I think we all need to take into account. Like, if the right starts doing the same cancel culture bullshit, that's literally being anti that is what's brought them back into the relevancy. That's what has them back in the cultural zeitgeist right now, is the freedom of speech and the anti-cancel culture and getting away from this fucking weird left-wing toxicity that we've had for so long. If we start, not we, I mean, I'm centrist, like slightly right, but if you start doing the same thing that you've critiqued the other side for doing so long, you're no better. You're no better. You should be wanting, like, people to realize how crazy things have gotten, and that's why they're moving away from the left, because the left has gotten so fucking far left. That is a fair, it's like, you should be looking at these people like, oh, well, they're willing to take the steps in, they're willing to work with Dana White, which is going to make the left mad, they're willing to do all these things to change their image to fucking make these changes that are necessary, and that's good. And I think that this is stuff that's not talked about enough. A lot of conservatives would go in and say that this was a win because they're cowtelling, and they are, but at the same time, we shouldn't say We shouldn't say, oh, fuck Bud Light still because of that one thing they did once. It's like, dude, if it's like the same thing with like Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's crazy, absolutely. But I remember when I was a kid and the whole thing happened where he had the drunk rant and said all the fucking awful shit, and then he spent like years and years apologizing for it. And now every time he has a movie come out, the movie can literally get nominated and win an Oscar, and they still won't put his fucking name on the movie. It's awful, dude. It's like the dude is fucking talented when it comes to storytelling, but we're not gonna put his name on the movie because he said something once that was bad. It was bad. Like, come on, dude. It's cringe. And I don't want the, like, right now, I like the right being the bastion of free speech, the bastion of an anti-cancel culture. That is why I moved a little bit more to the right, is because I'm so sick of, like, censorship. I'm so sick of cancel culture. So I like to see more conservatives calling it out on their own party. I mean, that's what Shoe on Head does for the left. So I think that Brett Cooper, if she continues down this path, yes, this is kind of old news and stuff that she's covering, but if she kind of does I'm going to critique the fucking bullshit going on the right while still holding my right-wing views the way Shoe on Head does, I think that's a win. I think that's a win for the internet.
To go with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. There's a damn good fucking reason. I know the inner workings of the beer business better than any of the other these guys out, these fans and all this shit. And basically, they went after Anheuser-Busch for being woke and doing what they did. 65,000 Americans are employed by Anheuser-Busch, and a lot of them are vets. That alone should be enough reason. Number two, they spend almost $1 billion a year with U.S. farmers. That should be a reason to do it. All the stuff that they do for first responders and vets and $44 million spent over the last however many years for their families. Every time there's a natural disaster in America, they shut down the plant and turn it into a bottled water facility. And they've done something crazy like 100 million bottles that they've sent out to Americans in need. Give me a fucking break.
I mean, by that point,
And this is right. Those are all facts. Absolute fucking facts, dude. And that's something that I think that one PR person shouldn't ruin it for the entire team. 100%. Like, it's like when you see, it was the whole Indiana Jones controversy when that game was being announced, and you had one developer looking mad left-wing cringe, right? Mad left-wing fucking cringe. But then the game came out and it wasn't a fucking woke nightmare. Look at that. Everybody jumped the gun. It's like not everything is always what it seems. And because one person does a bad fuck up job, they take a hit. The company took a hit. They took their hit really fucking hard. And then they started making choices that they knew was going to make them look bad in terms of a portion of the online zeitgeist. And like they weren't winning with Shane Gillis as a spokesperson. That wasn't going to win over the left wing zeitgeist. They weren't going to win with getting fucking Dana White in the UFC on. And they took their fucking L. But they knew that it was the right thing to do to keep their company going strong and keep their employees fed and happy and their company going. That is what you got to do. That's how you take accountability for your actions. I like to see stuff like this. I like to see redemption arcs, and the fact that it's not talked about as a redemption arc as much is annoying. It's cringe. It's fucking trash.
White was over it. He had been questioned about this so much. He had been criticized, utterly ripped to shreds. So many conservatives that had aligned with him and were partnering with him were breaking off ties. It was literally like the seas had parted. There was a divide over Bud Light because people couldn't decide whether they deserved to be redeemed or whether they should literally be boycotted and canceled into oblivion forever. And I know that there are people who disagree and they want to see these companies who have made wrong turns, who have made bad decisions, they want to see them completely destroyed, canceled, ended, bankruptcy, never to be seen again. But I actually completely disagree. Like, I want to see companies change and be better and come back stronger and actually listen to their consumers. Like, I think about companies like Disney. Disney is an incredibly important company and has been for generations. It has changed thousands and thousands of lives. It has changed the direction of so many different industries. It would be a shame to see it be completely destroyed. But I do think it should be better. I think that they should actually...
Absolutely. Here's the thing, dude. Before Disney became the woke taint wagon cumsicle, it was actually, like, Disney used to put out actual shit. I used to get excited, like, not, like, way excited, but, like, I would get excited when I see things getting released by Disney. In the better era of the MCU, when Pixar was doing, like, fire shit. I went to theaters for Incredibles 2, and I was an adult, dude. I'd met my wife. We were dating at the time. We went to Incredibles 2. We were fucking excited to see that shit. And then slowly we watched this fucking mind virus of AIDS and buttholes just cloud their vision with a bunch of shit. And now we have like the weird Disney we have now where it's like, well, we don't want to upset people online because they're paying way too much attention to people online. A lot of people are getting hired from California that are radical, have radical views, and they're pushing out a huge portion of their audience, and I think the best way to do is to combat that. And yeah, it's going to be a slow process. Yeah, you're going to have some trouble with doing it at first, but I think Bud Light showed that you can change as a company, and I think that more companies need to say, hey, dude, it's not working for us. We're making a change. Changes need to happen. We need to end, even if they don't go fucking right or whatever you want them to go, getting them back to the middle of just doing what a fucking company does is what they need to do, dude. That's all they need to do. That's all. I mean, it's fucking paint by numbers bullshit. I mean, I think it's not that complicated. You should want to sell to both sides of the political spectrum, but right now you have one side's the evil villain and the other side's the good guys for some reason, which is the wrong way to look at your fellow Americans and your potential buyers.
Listen to their audience and listen to their consumers who pay their bills. That is what needs to change. Like, I don't want to lose integral and historical and important parts of American society simply because I'm bitter and I've been burned. And the way to avoid this is to be self-aware, but it's also to be smarter. And in my opinion, the best way to become smarter is through Peterson Academy. And Peterson Academy is Jordan Peterson's online university that is open for enrollment right now.
Oh, dude, this is a question I got. A while back, right? In regards to the Daily Wire, who do you think will leave? Who do you think will stay? I can see the one person I could ever see just leaving the Daily Wire would be Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson is a newer entry, and I feel like a lot of the newer entries have left because of the toxicity over at I should go live and react to it. Do it, dude. Go live and react to my live. I would absolutely love that. I would be more than happy to have you reacting to my live. Do it, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. The more people react to my shit, the better. But no, I think, because like I feel like the toxicity that has grown from the corporate structure of the Daily Wire has been disingenuous to the movement they're trying to do. And I think Steven Crowder calling it out back in the day was the right thing to do. And I think a lot of the people that worked at the Daily Wire didn't realize how bad they were getting fucked over until that moment. And you saw a big rollout of a bunch of people at the Daily Wire villainizing Steven Crowder, and to this day they still kind of villainize him. And yeah, Steven Crowder has been really fucking mad cringe or whatever, but you see that them kind of utilizing their influence to push other people down, and I don't think that's okay. I think they're fully okay with destroying anybody that is slightly opposed to them, and if they could, I think they would try to destroy Brett Cooper. Even if they can't, though, their hands are tied because she's literally tied to one of their TV shows. I think that's why they didn't go as hard on Brett Cooper. They still were fucking cringe about her, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just how it is
now. And if you are someone who loves lifelong learning and wants to learn from the brightest professors in the world, if you are someone who has ever benefited from Dr. Peterson's lectures like I have, or his incredible guests that come on his show.
But it is wild to see that Jordan Peterson sponsored her, because that means Jordan Peterson actually saw what would happen to her and like agreed with her. Like, I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just speculating. The chat, no, he was like 138k subs. Dude, Jake should be here, dude. Jake should stream my shit, dude. Bring more eyes to my channel. I would love it. Dude, even if you disagree with me, I want you to tear me apart. I want you to call me a pussy-ass bitch. I want you to tell me that I have a prolapse anus and I shouldn't be talking. Do it, dude. I'm happy. I'm happy to be the laughingstock. But I do think this shows that Jordan Peterson kind of understood that what was happening to her was bullshit. It was willing to support all of her endeavors. And dude, Jake, I'm not saying this, I guess I want to like fight you or some shit. I want anybody, this is something I will say to anybody who watches my channel, anybody who's catching this video after I re-upload it or catching the stream right now, take any of my content, even my game playthroughs, cut the game, use it for your own background, do whatever you want with my content. At the end of the day, anytime somebody uses my content, puts it up on a short, does whatever, I make a weird taint joke, how I like cut them off of people and use them as wallpaper. Anytime I see some of that shit out there, that is advertisement for my channel, and I am more than happy to be the laughing stock in order to get more eyes on me.
then this platform is for you. And every month, Peterson Academy releases 4 new 8-hour university-level courses taught by alone just to further your education. So again, make sure to check out petersonacademy.com/Brett today. Again, that's petersonacademy.com/Brett to join Peterson Academy today. And I know that this is a very hot take in conservative circles right now, but in light of all of this, this is why I am choosing to give Mark Zuckerberg and Meta a chance. I want to see them be better. I want to see them succeed.
Agreed. A fucking agreed.
And I feel like we've literally been watching Mark Zuckerberg transform. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, again, like Whitney Cummings, he's grifting, he's opportunistic, he's just changing right now. Are you kidding me?
Jake, I'm down. If you ever want to do a live together, we can do that. We can debate or whatever. I am down for that. I don't do politics all the time. It's just a very few things. This Brett Cooper thing has been interesting to me. I've been really intrigued by it. I like that she's going in the direction of the shoe on head. But yeah, if you ever want to like collab, dude, my Discord's in my bio. You can go to my Discord and we can talk about it. What I was gonna say about the Mark Zuckerberg thing is a lot of people thought that he's just fucking like he's being a fucking skinwalker and now he's going to the other side because it's culturally relevant, which is true. 100% facts. He is doing this because it's the mind guys currently. Everything seems to be going in that direction, being anti-censorship. The majority of people out there are actually anti-censorship. And whether you're left or right, the majority of people believe that. Hey, hate censorship. Like, the whole hate speech thing is kind of fucking stupid. And have you noticed content creators stopped talking about it as much? They stopped talking about how toxic Twitter is or whatever. It's still, like, toxic, but they stopped complaining about it because they realized it was a losing argument. That more people were using it and they didn't want to go to places like Bluesky where they could get banned and fucking not as banned, but like everybody just blocks you instantly. And Bluesky's just this fucking toxic left-wing circle space. Bro got a lock in as a moderator now. No, you are my main moderator, Light Chomps. But here's the thing, dude. You get these, like, they see that this is more culturally acceptable to go. And you know what's the best part about it is they don't have to hire the people. They don't have to put as many people on bullshit like, oh, dude said some fucking edgy thing or posted an edgy thing. They don't have to worry about that anymore. And they can focus on the real stuff. They can focus on the child crimes. They can focus on the actual crimes on their platforms going down instead of all this weird culture war bullshit. Instead of worrying about the FBI getting mad that about something and saying you need to have them take that down. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. They don't have to worry about that shit anymore. And it's nice that they can like take those people that were kind of fluff, either fire them or move them to a new location where they're actually doing some real good for the platform by removing crimes. I think as a company, this is the easy way to go. And I'm sure that they've been sick of the censorship going on in other countries because England and Canada have been crazy. I'm sure that this is honestly really, really a better direction for them to go as a company, and I'm sure they've been just waiting for something like a cultural movement to move and change the general consensus. And now that they have it, they're going to run with it. So I think a part of them believes it, and I think a part of them is moving with the tides. If I had to fucking put taints to asses and figure this shit out and stop rambling.
I mean, like, I have been watching Mark Zuckerberg beef himself up. He started doing martial arts and jiu-jitsu. Like, when he started doing jiu-jitsu, I was like, it's over for the libs. And guess what? It kind of was. Didn't he open a, like, cattle ranch in Hawaii? He started talking about the importance of eating grass-fed beef. Like, somewhere along the line in the last few years, something clicked for him in his life, and he began to change. I also personally think that his response to the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, I thought that that was very, very genuine. I didn't think that that was calculated or opportunistic at all. I think that he, like so many other Americans who had turned away from Trump, who didn't really like him, I think that they saw him in a completely different light. I mean, you watched a man who has literally faced lawfare, has faced slander and shame, has been kicked out of his circles, has lost basically his entire community, and now he is being physically attacked, he is being shot at. And you see him stand up and say, fight, 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 because he believes in this country. He doesn't have to do any of this. He could be at Mar-a-Lago golfing. It's what we always say. He doesn't have to be president. He doesn't need to be running again. He could be living a peaceful life. But he's choosing to show up against all odds because he believes in this country and he believes that it can be great. And I think, again, like a lot of Americans, that clicked for Mark Zuckerberg. And if you don't know the clip that I'm talking about, just listen to what he said immediately after the assassination attempt.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
Like, I think in that moment.
Well, and here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. On top of that, no one likes being put in a box. Nobody likes being cornered. And for a long time, and this is at least post 2016, we have had where the internet has cornered anybody that they might think is of a certain thought, and they're willing to burn down somebody's entire livelihood over the sniff that they had, even the slight thought of not being 100% with their views, and that's fucked. And I don't like, if the right starts doing that, I'm gonna call it out there too. I do not like when you decide to be this vicious. And if I was Mark Zuckerberg and I saw an opportunity to shift the company's direction away from this toxic place that it's sitting in, after seeing that Twitter already opened the doors for that, I'd be down for it. Now, do I agree with like Elon Musk and some of his fucking censorship because he's a little petty bitch? No. But again, that's where I'm going to call him out on that shit, and like his little spats with Asmongold where he's being a little pussy about it. I'm going to call him out for that shit, but I'm not going to sit here and then like, oh, well, I have to agree with everything they say always. Because all that's going to do is create this mob mentality, which has been so dangerous for the left. That is what has caused them to lose this election, is mob mentality and this chaos that we have. It's pretty fucking plain, and we're not doing like engineering over here. We're putting fucking dicks in buttholes, and shit's just adding up, right? It's not complicated to me, but for some reason, people were acting like the Mark Zuckerberg thing was just like this great, wow, he had this big realization. I think it's been building for a while, and he just was like, finally, somebody opened the door first. I didn't have to be the guy. I can follow suit. If I was in his position, I would have done the same thing. It's like, oh, do I take the hit and I be the bad guy and I'm the bad platform and I have to do all this thing after I built this whole company up? Or I see Twitter do it, I wait and see Twitter do it, or I wait for the political tides to change and then I do it, and finally I have this freedom, and then I can just sit there and I can say our policy hasn't changed in a very long time. We made this decision, even if it changes back the other way, that you can kind of sit back and now you have a more firm stance to be sat in. Like, I don't know. I think this was a smart play by him, and I was fully happy to see it. And I hated the people that were calling him a grifter because of it, because it's like, dude, we should just be just take the W. Just take the fucking W.
He developed a man crush. He was like, this is what a real man is. He's tough. He's strong. This is
gay. What she's saying right here is gay. This is lame. I don't think it's because Trump is the biggest thing ever. I think it's because of what I said, not because of what she's saying right here. She's much prettier than I am, so you might believe her over me, but what are you gonna do, dude? I'm fat and have scraggly facial hair.
What I want to be. I genuinely think that it was inspiring, and the gears started turning at a much faster rate. I really think that that was the push he needed to draw his line in the sand and start to unravel everything that he and Meta had been doing for so many years, had been complicit in, which is why, in my opinion, he sent that now famous letter to Jim Jordan, where he basically admitted to all the censorship and said the White House was encouraging and forcing their hands. He said that in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was—
What, you don't let the homies hit? No, dude. I'm married, bro. I don't let anybody hit other than my wife. I let her peg the shit out of my asshole. I'm just kidding. No, dude, we don't do any butt stuff. Butt stuff scares both of us. I make a lot of butt jokes, but it scares the fuck out of me, dude. That is the scary, dude. My wife the other day said that shit sucks back, and I was like, get that fucking away from me, dude. Why do you have a pit from Star Wars behind us, dude? I want my butthole removed. I just want to drop shit out of my ass. If my butthole sucks things up in there, nope, I'm against it, bro. Big against. I think we should ban all buttholes. If you want to stream with Jacob, oh no, dude, dude, he's busy right now, dude. He was in my chat, bro. I already promised you were gonna be on, dude. Just get on my chat, Rev. I'm calling Rev right now. I'm supposed to have Rev on tonight. Rev was supposed to be streaming with me. Rev is another YouTuber. He's great. He's being a little bitch boy about it. Dude, I don't know. Oh, he's not at his PC. Dude, he was like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, right now, buddy, right now, I have plans tonight to have Rev on.
Was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions. This is really important. We're going to talk about that later. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we are ready to push back if something like this happens again. And a lot of people read this letter and they said, oh.
Well, and here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing that people don't understand about a lot of this is I feel like if I was running a giant company and we had the amount of pressure that there was a lot of pressure during the whole pandemic. There was a lot of pressure by the White House. There was a lot of pressure when it came to the Hunter Biden thing. There was a lot of this government pressure coming down. And if I was a company, I'd be scared to be sanctioned because they were sanctioning fucking all. They would sanction your grandmother if she was sneezed the wrong direction. It was very draconian for a little bit there. Now, how deep it goes, I don't know. How draconian it was, I have no idea. The moment Biden like fucking he pardoned everybody. He fucking pardoned like everybody who might have been prosecuted because of their malpractice or whatever. And the dude just fucking like went out there. The dude just went out there and was like straight up pardoned everybody, which puts guilt in my eyes. If you're putting blanket pardons for like years and years, that's gonna put guilt in my eyes that they did some fucky shit. And if I was a company running my business at that time period, bro, I would be looking at all these other court hearings, being like, I don't want any fucking part of that. I'm a little scared. We've never seen something like this. I'm gonna just ban the shit from my platform and then keep going with my life. And when Twitter was taken over by Elon Musk, we saw all the FBI shit leak. And then Musk is reconfirming it. So really, it was Musk buying that platform and releasing all this shit that opened a lot of the floodgates. We got Rev on stream here. We got fucking Rev Plays Games, my boy. My sweet southern boy. How you doing? Well, he was here. He was here for a second. He's not talking right now. We will wait until he shows up. I don't know.
My freaking OBS wasn't open.
Oh, dude, your OBS was being gay, dude. Yeah, are you streaming this right now?
Yeah, no, but I have my OBS is monitoring a virtual audio cable. It helps with my mic sound. And
yeah.
So OBS has to be open for anything to go through.
I don't mess with any of my audio settings, and that's probably why my mic sounds twice as shitty as yours, even though we have the same mic.
I mean, it sounds good to me on Discord.
Does it? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then I'm crispy and clean. I'm gonna hit play, Rev. You're here.
All right.
You're queer. Actually, you're not. But let's go.
He thinks that Trump's going to get in office and that he
My
is going
wife
to
would
get
disagree.
reprimanded, that he's going to be thrown in.
Your wife's like, excuse me. Well, actually, I peg him, and
She's
I'm a
watching.
woman.
I left it on upstairs.
Did
so.
you? Dude, Miss Rev knows how much she pegs you. She knows. She's like, do I use the Lovecraft penis or do I use the regular penis? Dude,
Why not both?
Oh yeah, dude, tie them together, duct tape them. More stretch for the passion.
In jail. He's trying to cover his track, but that last line spoke volumes. We're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Any administration, either direction. I actually think that he was saying, Kamala, if you get elected, we're not doing this again. Because I know better now. I have more strength. I have more courage. I've seen somebody literally get shot at in the face and continue to stand up against absurdity and tyranny. And I now have the balls to stand up to you. So I think it works in both directions. And then, guys, to top all of this off, he made a video a couple months later, which I'm sure you've seen, announcing a complete overhaul of how Meta and how Facebook monitors content with a focus on free speech, which is, what it should have been the entire time. But now they're going back to their roots, is what he said. Just watch.
The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws, institutional...
I'm skipping all this. I'm skipping all of this. I want to just say that, like, the position he's coming from, but, like, Mark Zuckerberg... do you know anything about this, Rev? The Mark Zuckerberg thing?
I saw some of it, but I have a very minimal amount of knowledge when it comes to a lot of the stuff going on.
Well, basically, Mark Zuckerberg just came out there and said we were going to go back to our free speech rule, our roots, or whatever. And I think
Yeah, I've seen
that's good for. I hate this idea that one potential like thought process should be the prevailing one online. I think it's really bad. I think it's led to a lot of the bad cancel culture and shit we have. I think it's led to a lot of the toxicity of the left wing party. Now, I know that we're talking about how the right is toxic too, and I 100% agree with that. I vehemently agree with the right being just as toxic, given the opportunity. But it's just like online, you see more of the left-wing toxicity because it's the prevailing. It's the good slip. We all covered Mark's announcement like a month ago. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's the having it covered. I mean, I didn't cover it, but just having it in this video as like a point showing that like I saw a lot of conservative people, and I saw a lot of like people who react to shit like this kind of acting like this was a bitch move by Mark Zuckerberg. And I think this honestly took guts on his part. Could you imagine running a multi-billion-dollar company when we're in a very trying time right now? There's going to be companies that are going to stick with their guns and companies that don't. And it right now you're placing your bet on what the position should be. And I think that a lot of them see that the Section 230 and the Section 230 shit is coming. I mean, they're at any chance they could lose that. They have protections from the government because they are not a publisher, but they've been acting like a publisher for a long time. And if they lose that, they lose their ability to run the website. So it's either you look at what you've built and you say, this has gotten obscene. We've been dealing with a lot of fucking bullshit from political pressure, and we make the choice to change it now and stand with this stand with this current administration that seems like it's going to be protecting us if we do the right steps, or we make a bet against it and we lose everything. So either way, you could lose everything. But I think
it really sounds like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah,
like
but I think that right now going with the free speech direction, it at least has the Constitution to back you up. So even
well,
if it,
well, that yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I would say that would be the main focus, right? Is it in line with the Constitution?
Yeah.
You know, does it edify the constitutional rights that we have?
And that to me is the most important thing. And then hold on. Daily Wire's reach dropped 80% overnight when they released Lady Ballers. Yeah, I have no idea. I heard it was terrible. Honestly, here's the thing. I'm gonna go on I'm gonna go on like a different tangent. Why you shouldn't watch anything from the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro made a Batman review, right?
That's it.
That's it, dude. That's all you need, dude. The Batman review, honestly, should make you never watch anything from the Daily Wire again. Because if Ben Shapiro woke up and said, "I'm Ben Shapiro, I'm gonna make him a review on the Batman," and then he probably talked to one of his buddies at the Daily Wire, and they're like, "That's a good idea, dude. Not enough people have talked about how woke the Batman is." And then he went out and made the fucking most dog shit review ever. And no one should watch the fucking Daily Wire movies, because if that's their thought process about fucking set design and atmosphere, they don't know how to make a fucking film. I don't care how anti-woke the movie is, if the movie's dog shit.
I said it last stream when we watched it together. You know, I was in the chat. I said it in chat. I would rather lick the bottom of a McDonald's toilet seat than watch that again.
Yeah, dude, that was the worst review I have ever seen. He didn't even see the movie, and he did a review on it. So he didn't even watch the...
That made it so much worse.
Oh my god, dude. Jake Day's hitting me with some fucking... Dude, it was garbage. It was so bad. It was fucking... I would rather melt my eyeballs out with, like... Well, I can't even use Lizzo as, like, a hitting point anymore, bro. Did you see she lost, like, a fuckload of weight?
Yeah.
Like a lot of weight. Like, there's people still calling her fat and shit, but like, bro, she went from fucking fat to chubby, you know? Good on her, bro. Good on her. I mean, I need to get on that.
It takes a lot of discipline. Yeah, me too. Dude. Tell me about it.
Dude, I think about losing weight and I go get another plate of spaghetti. I'm like, how much of this can I shove in my mouth and in my ass at the same time? It's a game.
You're on that. You're on that. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, I'm on that. I'll do it tomorrow. I look at my baby and I'm like, I'm going to play with you. And then I'm going to eat food while I do it. It's a toxic mind space. But yeah, dude, fucking that made me never want to watch. Because I wanted to watch the movie he did with Thomas Jane about the school shooting. I don't know if you ever saw the trailer for that.
I haven't seen that.
So when it was one of the first movies they dropped, right? And the movie is just basically Thomas Jane's like a hunter and shit, and he teaches his daughter about all this shit. And then there's an active at the school, and his daughter basically gets out and goes and gets her gun. And I was like, that looks kind of cool. I like that idea. Cool B movie. I would watch that shit on TV when there's nothing else on because I see Thomas Jane on it. And I'm like, it's probably gonna be bad because it's got Thomas Jane in it, but I like him. He was cool in the Shark movie and as the Punisher. I'm gonna fucking watch this shit. But like after seeing that review, bro, I think the movie's probably gonna be trash. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Fuck Ben Shapiro and his fucking Batman review. But the whole Facebook thing, I think it's still relevant to talk about, even though she's using it here. And in the context, the way she's using it here, as how a lot of conservatives are being very toxic toward fucking Facebook, Zucky fucky. To be honest, he's probably been sick of it for a long time, felt boxed in, and this was his out. Like, this was his chance to get away from it. You felt like if I was boxed in for a while and then saw somebody open a door for me and take all the heat, because Musk took all the heat. Musk is still taking all the heat. He's a clown, but he's taking the heat and so when Zuckerberg comes in, he gets a little bit of the heat, which and then he got some heat from conservatives or whatever. He got a little bit from both sides, but at the end of the day, he's still fucking taking the W here. This is working out way better for him because he's not the focus. After this happened, a lot of people lost focus on him. People are still complaining about Musk taking over Twitter, but Zucky fucky is just chilling. That's how you do it. This was a great business move. It turned from a damned if you do to damned if you don't to somebody already else got damned. I'm just fucking saying fuck England. That's basically what he said. He's like, fuck England. They're
the meme of Homer backing into the bushes.
Yeah. Everybody else is backing in. It was literally Homer. It would have been like if Homer stepped out and didn't back in, and somebody else was like, finally, it's my turn to come out. Thank God, I've been in there so long. You smell like ass and jizz, bro. Do you ever shower? That's Mark Zuckerberg right now. And honestly, I don't blame him. No, they shouldn't. The Daily Wire has done fucked up shit. Like, this is she shouldn't here's the thing about Brett, again, the cancellation of the Daily Wire, right? If the people are canceling the Daily Wire, which sucks, like, they like, not all of them deserve that, but if they hit her with some, like, Steven Crowder wrongdoing type bullshit, it deserves to be out there. We shouldn't protect people just blatantly just because they have a similar thought process to you. The Daily Wire has been out here doing some fucking questionable shit and doing some old style media tactics and willing to bend the knee in almost every regard to what these platforms want them to do. And then all of a sudden they get some backlash and they shift the blame onto whoever's giving the backlash. Brett didn't spur it up any bigger. Brett didn't try to protect them. She just stayed quiet and released her own platform, which was the best action to take. She could have gone out, leaked shit, given stuff to other people to leak. She could have done a lot more, but she didn't. She's just out here building her own shit, doing her own thing. And honestly, this is the best thing she could have done. Because I feel like the Daily Wire screwed her over. There's something there, or otherwise the God King would not have came out and made that video. If there wasn't something there they needed to hide. I don't know.
I'm excited to take it.
No,
He's saying this is a global trend.
I was thinking myself, if they have been doing these things, and they very suspicious, almost like, like backroom cigar smoke, like secret meeting, doing her dirty, right? To me, then it would be the consequences of their actions, and it would be like, there's I'm a boat captain, and I see this rock, but I'm going to do everything I can to steer into that rock. Don't get mad, don't get mad at me.
Exactly.
Other people can't get mad at me, right? Get mad at the captain. He's the one that steered it
exactly.
into the rock.
Exactly. It's one of those things that he's literally the captain on the ship, like you're saying, yelling at the crew for fucking everything up while not letting go of the reins. And that's how I felt about the whole Daily Wire situation with Brett Cooper. It's just
don't blame the rock. Blame the captain.
Yeah, and then he gets like right before the rock hits, he gets mad at the one person that jumps out because they don't want to die. It's just it was one of those things that this is just comes off bad, and I've already seen them use these manipulation tactics with Steven Crowder by not addressing any of his actual arguments in the contract and just addressing the money. It was all about the money and trying to paint him as a greedy motherfucker, and that is. I mean, if you're going to be the platform that touts about free speech, but then have a big fallout with Candace Owens over her views on Israel, I'm going to have, like, that's vehement. I don't like Candace Owens. I make it very blatant that I'm not a big Candace Owens fan. I've always found her really self-indulgent and kind of an asshole. But at the end of the day, like, to get in these huge disputes with her over her views is like, dude, you're supposed to be a free speech group. You're supposed to be here. That you've been touting forever about this shit, and now you're against it. That's where you deserve criticism. That's what happens. And it's not that she never actively tried to get the Daily Wire canceled. She just cut ties. There's a very big difference. There's a difference between cutting ties and then going out and shit talking him every second.
You are all complicit in.
Yeah.
We're not doing
for
this
sure.
again. And now that we have Trump coming into office, it's going to be a lot easier for us to fight back against all of this. And within minutes of this video dropping on social media, it was announced that they were, rolling back fact checkers. My favorite part of that video was actually when he said that he was moving the content moderation team from an office in San Francisco to Texas, was hiring all new people, which was just such a F the libs moment. Like, okay, now we're taking this away from you, San Francisco tech bros. We're taking it to Texas where people are a lot more reasonable. That was just fantastic. He literally got rid of the DEI teams at Meta, removed tampons from the men's bathrooms, which was just insane that they were there in the first place. He put Dana White on the Meta board of directors, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing that he did. Because with that...
Well, that's a great point. That's a great point. In chat, they're talking about Blair White cooked Candace on Dave Rubin's podcast back in the day. Candace Owens used to be like really left-wing, like really left-wing.
Yeah.
And then she came, like, when she showed back up in the public zeitgeist after being cooked by everybody, she showed back up as super right-wing, and they just kind of accepted her. Which is fine, dude. I think if somebody can have a change of heart, I do believe people can have a change of heart, have a change of opinions. I mean, what I thought yesterday could be completely adamantly different from what I think today. But to have somebody just like Candace Owens, who's always been toxic, who's always been willing to just burn people down around her, and then to pretend that she hasn't always been that way, that is one consistency she's always shown. But whether she was talking for the left wing or talking for the white, she's always been the right. Well, I said white. Talking for the right. She's always been kind of a toxic person, a toxic personality. And there was times where I agreed with her on some of her sentiments, and sometimes I didn't. But I just always felt this viciousness from her.
Yeah, almost like standoffish in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. I don't know if you ever watched. You thought the same thing with Candace Owens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, condescending for sure.
Yeah, dude, she's condescending, she's rude. She was that way with the left back when the left first started doing that, like in the I think this was probably the 2010s. And then she just migrated over to the right and did the same thing but with different talking points. And she utilized her race the same way she did when she was left wing, but now for the right to do, like, she was getting off the plantation. I think that's the name of her book. Which is just fucking she's what is it called? Race grifting or race? I don't know. Utilizing her race for her viewpoints. That was her. She does that a lot. And to me, it's like she's just still using identity politics, just in a different format now, and that bothers me.
He said, "I'm taking this action, yes, but I'm putting somebody incredibly powerful, incredibly well-connected on this board to not only hold me accountable, but also hold the entire company accountable." And of course, and I know people are already going to be commenting about this, and I'm sure you guys are concerned, but with Mark Zuckerberg's track record, obviously we should be skeptical. Obviously, we should not jump in heart first, trusting this man implicitly, but you also shouldn't dismiss the work that he is doing that will make our lives better, that will hopefully change the course of the media landscape, much like Elon Musk and X has done. We should, in my opinion, hope for the best and hope that he is being genuine and be excited about the changes that he's making. And this man is also in an incredibly difficult situation right now. Like, everyone hates him. If you go online and you watch any videos about Mark Zuckerberg right now, you have libs screaming, losing their mind, saying we're not going to be on Meta anymore, we're getting rid of Instagram, getting rid of Facebook, literally ripping him to shreds. One of my favorite things to do over the last month has been to watch all of my lib friends on Facebook meltdown over this, so they're pissed off at him. Meanwhile, you have conservatives who think that he should be in jail, that nothing he does will ever rectify the situation that he created, that he does not deserve a second chance, that we should also leave Meta, leave Facebook. Like, he can please nobody at this moment. He is between a rock and a hard place. Like, there is no real winning for him here, because
she has excellent oratory skills. I'm fucking retarded when it comes to pronunciation sometimes, so I probably fuck that up. That's Candace's secret weapon. I have to drink a couple beers before I'm relaxed enough to speak as fluidly as she does. And well, here's the thing too. You can, even with me talking on this or on my stream right now, I'm gonna be a lot choppier and a lot more fucked up. But like in my videos, I'm kind of fucked up too. But if I wanted to, I could lay out precise things that I wanted to say, go through that, and then cut all the fluff. It's not hard to cut all the fluff. And they had entire teams at the Daily Wire able to do that. So that's why she has almost everybody at the Daily Wire. Have you noticed they're incredibly clean? All their videos are incredibly clean. It all sounds really good. And it's rare that you'll have somebody. I think the only time I've seen like a conservative get up and like cut the rug, like actually cut up a place and not feel like everything was rehearsed. There's only been one guy to do that, and that was Steven Crowder. And that's what made me like him back in the day. He was at a panel, right? And somebody was like heckling, and Steven Crowder just gets up and starts fucking roasting the audience. Doing like
that video got, yeah, that one went viral.
Yeah, dude. And that was one of the best moments I'd ever seen from a conservative. And that was at like a time where I was like kind of not sure. I was like trying to research stuff, trying to figure out where I stood, and I remember seeing that and I'm like, that's cool. And then I watched his Change My Mind, and I'm like, this is how you do it. This isn't debate broy. And you see stuff that comes from like PragerU or like the Daily Wire, and it feels very vicious. In a way, it's very calculated. Everything's very calculated. Everything they say is got a punch to it and a point. And Steven Crowder has kind of gone that way, and that's why I moved away from him. But like old Steven Crowder was kind of just like sit back, wait for the moment, make my jokes, make my points, have my fun. And it felt off the cuff. It was unrehearsed. And it's just like one of these things that people don't, when you see somebody's cut up footage like this, and you see something that's gone through like this, they're like, wow, they're such a good speaker. They have this ability. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. But when it actually comes down to brass tacks, if you had a team of people editing your shit, you could get this done no problem. Everybody can look clean if you have people to do it.
Yeah. But and see, now you know the reason why I'm terrified of doing lives is because I run out of stuff to say very quickly. Outside of being, in here with, you and talking, I have to have somebody else to spur the conversation. I don't talk very well, to myself on my own. But yeah. I'm also reading Jake's comment. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Being alive is way more difficult than people think. You're doing a great job, by the way. Thank you. Well, you see, what I do is I retain a healthy amount of semen inside of my body, right? A healthy amount of semen. And when I start talking, it sprays into the atmosphere. That's why I have so many illicit kids. Every time I get a knock on my door, I'm like, fuck, it's another one. And I go hide in the dishwasher, right? But it's just like, it kind of flies out. It flies out. It's like a nice mist that's happening 24/7. And if I don't replenish that from my own supply, like I have a Christian closet full of all my, or not Christian, what was it? Butters, bro. Butters, dude. You remember, you see that episode of South Park where he's like, I wake up sometimes and it's wet, so I bottle it.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, dude, that's what my closet looks like. And I just take a little sip to save it so I don't run out of it or whatever, just like Christian. And then I go on and stream, and it honestly helps me. I'm pretty sure this is what Joe Rogan's alpha brain is. It's just bottled semen.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
Yeah, dude, you've been fucking just holding it in. You're like, I'm a reverend, I can't jerk off. It's bad for me. God is watching. And then you don't, and you just wait, and then you're like, Miss Rev, please, it's time. I got balls like the monster from the crab from Half-Life. Please help me.
Or in the South Park episode where
Randy
hopping along the sidewalk. Yeah.
Dude, you got the wheelbarrow balls, and that's when Miss Rev likes them the best, because then that's her boobs to fondle. And she's like, yes, now it's time, Rev. It's time. and she shoots off you like a fucking fire extinguisher that somebody let go of.
She just texted me. Give me a second.
Your wife's like, what the fuck did I just watch, bro? Oh my god, dude, that was so foul, dude. While you're reading that text, I'm gonna hit play.
Everybody's going to hate him regardless, and nobody is going to like him or trust him. So he is having to do what he believes is a moral right. He is having to make the harder decision, even though it might not be the easier decision. And I will always respect somebody for attempting to do that. And I know that a lot of people believe that he should face repercussions for what he did over the last 10 years. Other people want him to apologize, which in my opinion, he did in that letter to Jim Jordan. And who knows if he will face repercussions. I don't know what Trump is going to do. It seems like they're kind of buddy-buddy, considering he was sitting right behind him at the inauguration. And other people are saying, you know, this is one of the most wealthy individuals in America who runs an incredibly powerful company. You should have just pushed back against Biden and the Biden administration. And while that is obviously, yes, true, to me, the fact that this incredibly wealthy and powerful man was afraid of our U.S. government speaks more to their overreach and their corruption and their power than it does to his character. Because if they were willing to attack him and threaten him, imagine what they would have done to all of us. I mean, we saw what they did to people over the last 5 years. So it's understandable that he was apprehensive about not pushing back even more. And so that is why I genuinely am hoping for the best. I want him to be genuine. I want him to succeed.
What happened? What happened? You need to catch me up on how your wife feels right now.
She said she's feeling a lot better. I went and got her some Chinese food. She's been craving it, so I went and got it.
Good.
And then I do my best. But she said, you know, Jiffy said that he had a lot of semen in his body, and you know what I immediately said afterwards? And I went, yeah, what? She goes, me too.
Good job, Rev. You're doing it. You're a good husband, bro. You're a husband. When my wife says she wants Chinese food, I'm like, shut up, bitch. I'll punch you. No, I don't say that, dude. I actually love my wife. But if I wore wife beaters, bro, and I smoked meth, probably. I assume that's what they do. I don't really know that realm of the world, but I'm sure, dude. I'm sure that they're like, gonna beat up my wife. Nah, dude. If my wife wanted Chinese food, I'd be like, all right, let me get you some Chinese food. And then she probably wouldn't say the semen thing because she always says that stuff's gross. She's like, you say gross stuff, and I'm like, that's why you married me. Yeah, I'm the gross one.
It's like a perfect pair, you know?
Yeah, dude. She's like, just like her perfect pair of tits. Bazinga. That one was bad enough that I want to cry. I want to cry myself to sleep over that terrible joke. Oh my god, we're gonna finish this, Rev.
I'll forgive you this time.
We got 3 minutes left. I think we can make it. Well, let's see what Brett Cooper has to say, and I will watch her pretty mouth move. Dude, I'm gonna get in trouble for objectifying for no reason. This is great. I love it.
Because that will be better for all of us. And in my opinion, believing in somebody's ability to change is instrumental to the health, number one, to the health of all of us in our personal lives, but it's also instrumental to the health of the right and our movement. Because if we lose that, we become no better than the left. The left that we have all been canceled and ridiculed by. The left that we have called out for policing speech and being relentlessly tribal in the way that they eat their own and do not allow anybody to have any kind of dissenting opinion or make any kind of misstep whatsoever. The left that says you can't talk about X and you can't do Y. Is that really who we want to become? I go on social media, I go on X, and that's what I'm seeing. It's just a bunch of infighting. It's a bunch of people freaking out because people aren't perfect. Oh my God. Wow. And of course, there's a difference between that kind of toxicity and those cancellations, and simply being cautious and holding people accountable and hoping for the best. But with what I'm seeing online, with what people are saying and commenting, those lines are becoming increasingly blurry. We just elected Donald Trump to his second term, which is fantastic. I think most people are very, very excited and pumped about it. I think that the world feels a lot better since January 20th. But Donald Trump is a former Democrat. And a lot of people on the right have serious problems with him, whether that is because of his track record on COVID, the vaccines, the fact that he spent a lot of money, more than he should have in his first term, whether it was because he appointed rhinos, whether it was because of Jan 6. But people have gotten over a lot of that. They've pushed past that and they've said, yes, he might have made mistakes, but he's trying to be better. He is going to get this country back on track, and I'm choosing to believe in him. I mean, think about Tulsi. Think about RFK Jr. these two former Democrats who still to this day do not share a lot of the traditional conservative values.
And this is something, okay, so I'm pausing it again. This is actually something that I liked about Trump's cabinet this go round. It seems like he chose a lot of people that would support him, and he was willing to support some of their ideas as well. Because Tulsi Gabbard isn't all of a sudden like a super right-wing person, and same with RFK. He still has his very vehement beliefs that are left-wing. It's just now he got sick of being he got sick of the toxicity and moved a little bit over. And I see a lot of people where they're like, oh, well, we have to support them all the time. And it's like, you know, this is the best part about, like, having different people come to the table. And I'm not, like, the biggest Trump guy. I like Trump, okay, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, and, like, I voted for him this time because I honestly was just sick of when he made this, I wasn't sure about it until he made he talked about, like, social media and, like, cancel or, like, censorship. And I was like, that's what I care about. And I remember, this is funny. This is a funny story. So my wife, is more left-wing than I am. She is more left-wing than, she's like center. Well, now she'd be considered right because the left-wing is so fucking far over there. But I remember she was going to vote at the Democratic National Committee or whatever, right? The whatever it's called. She was going to vote, and she posted something on Facebook about, take this little test. It was one of those gay little Facebook tests, like, take this little test and see who your closest views are with, right? And I did it, and the one I was closest with was Tulsi Gabbard, and I was like, yeah, but I don't really agree with her views on gun stuff, because she was kind of like, she wasn't fully anti-gun, but she wanted more regulations. But I was like, okay, that was fun enough. I'm still probably not going to vote for him. And then I remember watching Tulsi Gabbard in the debates, and she, like, destroyed Kamala Harris. Like, fucking wrapped her up into, like, a rug and shoved her off Mulholland Drive, right? I was like, fuck, dude. And then all of a sudden, Kamala Harris is the VP, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you pick the worst performer, dude? Why would you pick the fucking worst performer? But at the same time, dude, I remember when she posted that, she had some family that were like, I would never vote. I would never do something like that because I'm adamantly right-wing or whatever. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking game you play on Facebook. This isn't like, you're not actually going and voting for them. You're just seeing if any of them are close-ish to your views. Like, and I remember people getting mad at her for that. And I'm like, that's stupid. And then I did I took the little testing because of how stupid I thought people getting mad at her was. It's like, dude, that's the problem. You can look over it. And I have people in my family who, like, at the moment Bernie Sanders is brought up, they get annoyed, right? Mm-hmm. They just get fucking like, oh, he's a socialist or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but do you not understand the appeal of him? Because people don't do is they get in these hard lock boxes, and then they refuse to look at anybody over on the opposing side and understand what makes them popular, understand what of their rhetoric keeps them going. And I look at like people like Bernie Sanders, and I understand everything that appeals with him, because all the things that, other than like his like views on like socialized healthcare and like kind of him wanting to go in a more socialist direction, which I all disagree with. But in terms of him trying to talk to the middle class is the same reason why I loved Ron Paul, and why at one time I was like, if Ron Paul would have been in fucking like gotten a nomination, dude, there was a chance that I would have like passed out signs. He was the one guy I would have put a sign in my front yard for. I loved Ron Paul. I loved Ron Paul so fucking much. And I remember that the Republican Party at the time didn't like Ron Paul, because Ron Paul was like more about personal liberties. He was more libertarian, and we need to stick with the status quo and all this bullshit, dude. And it's like, you got a guy that would win easily right here, but instead you're putting up fucking Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's always sucked, dude. Mitt Romney's cringe as fuck. Mitt Romney's he probably, in one of his 87 houses, probably has like a bunch of slave children that he has sex with, allegedly in Minecraft. Not really.
Allegedly in Minecraft.
I fucking do not like Mitt Romney. Never have liked Mitt Romney. That was my first election, was Obama versus Mitt Romney. And I remember sitting there and literally thinking, I would rather cut off my toes than be here right now. Why am I at this fucking convention center voting? This sucks, dude. Both of these guys fucking suck. I hate this election. I hate both these guys. I don't want to be here. And I think I ended up voting third party, and I remember like getting the lecture from people, oh, it's throwing your vote away, and I'm like, I am happily throwing my fucking vote away because I'm not voting for Mitt Romney. I hated that dude. I still hate Mitt Romney. What a bitch. What a little fucking bitch. From the beginning, dude. He was literally everything that I hated about conservatism at the time, where it was like, we need to know the values and everything needs to fit in this box of values, and it's like, dude, like, you're willing to sell our own rights up the river for your fucking values argument.
I just imagine somewhere hanging in your house is a dartboard with Mitt Romney's face attached to it.
Dude, no, that would be disgracing my fucking walls with Mitt Romney's face. I never understood that. Yeah, you're throwing a dart at it. Oh, look how tough I am. I'm throwing a dart at it. You still put a fucking picture of them in your house that's like it's always a colored picture too, so you know how much colored ink costs?
That's true.
You're wasting money on colored ink, and it's always like
I would respect it more if it were in black and white, you know?
Yeah, dude, I would respect it better if it was a fucking stick figure drawing that just said Mitt Romney on it. That's respectable, dude.
Looks nothing like him.
Yeah, dude, looks nothing like him. It's literally just cattywampus eyes. It's got the smile all wiggly diggly, and the nose is just like an L, and it says Mitt Romney, and Romney's misspelled.
It's made out of popsicle sticks. And,
yeah,
pipe cleaner.
It's one of the popsicle sticks has a tie drawn on it, but it's just a line that says tie underneath it.
Yeah, and the pipe cleaners are like for the hair and all. Oh my goodness.
Dude. That I would respect you. I would respect your hatred then. I'm like, I walk in their house, there's just a dartboard with this fucked up elementary school fucking macaroni poster up there. I'm like, what's that? They're like, that's George Soros, and I'm like, cool, dude. Don't like George Soros? No, he's gonna destroy the world. He was a Nazi. I'm like, okay, dude. Yeah, no, definitely don't like those guys. Don't like Nazis. They were bad. What am I doing at your house? I was picking you up. Let's get the fuck out of here. I don't want to look at your popsicle drawing anymore. I'm gonna hit play.
But are doing very important work. And we've all gotten on board with them, and we are trusting them to work with Trump and help lead our country in a good direction. These people have all been welcomed with open arms. There will be growing pains for all of this. But we also cannot simply become what we just spent the last 10 years criticizing. Doing daily shows to bring people over to the other side, to show them that they were wrong, to expose the corruption, and then be angry and troll them because they weren't right all along. It literally is cognitive dissonance that makes no sense. We can't build a platform on free speech and then tell people what they can and can't speak about because of their track record or because of what they believed 4 years ago. Like, that's not morally or philosophically consistent, and it's also just not right. It's not a healthy path for us to go down. We are at an incredibly pivotal point in our culture right now, and we cannot get complacent or get messy or get morally inconsistent just because we won a singular election. That means we actually have to lean in more. We have to be better and make sure that we stay on a right path, because if not, we could literally lose all of this and self-implode because of the toxicity, because we got lazy and fell into the same traps that destroyed the left. We have to be self-aware, and we have to be better.
I think
you know what's crazy?
I think that's a good.
What's up, guys, and welcome to.
Oh, I can't figure out how to YouTube. Okay, so what I think is great about that is it's like part one, obviously, or episode one of her show, and I think that's a good entry point to be like, listen, this is what I want to do different. And I think she's speaking to a lot of people when she's talking, even though these are kind of old issues and they're not in the like forefront of what's going on. I still think she's talking about a lot of things that is kind of missed between the conversations. I think she's writing that line of like, okay, this is we don't want to turn into the SJWs. We don't want to turn into this. And here's my examples of why we're going in that direction and why this is happening, with still being true to what she is. Now, it's not as hard hitting as I wanted it to be. I'm going to be honest. I think Jake was right that this wasn't the 100% the best video, but I think it was a good intro video to her channel.